Welcome back to Everyman Prepping. Hope you're having a great day. And we do a lot of videos on this channel about getting ready, how to do it, food, water, medical, and all that. We also do current event videos, and a lot of those events are going to be the reasons why we do prepare. So today's video is on a current event and how it's going to go down, as you can tell from the background, to the destruction of the US dollar, and in particular the petrodollar. We're talking about China and BRICS once again, and the work they're doing in the world to basically undermine the US dollar and put it out of its commission and take over on that financial stage. And as you can see here, just on Friday here, China, Xi calls for oil trade in Yuan at a Gulf summit in Riyadh. So that's in Saudi Arabia. They had a great welcome. They threw wild party, Air Force is out there, bands, music. Much different than the reception that Biden got when he went over there. So Saudi Arabia is really looking to woo China, and China's looking to woo Saudi Arabia, so they can, basically China knows they can do that. They can wean them off the US dollar. It'll kill the petrodollar and weaken the United States, and China loves a weaker United States. And what happens when you have a weaker United States? We need those preps that we've been working on getting ready. So Xi claimed, this is a summary, Xi says in the summit with the Gulf and the Arab League is a milestone because they're, it's just the last year or two that China's really been pushing to make inroads into the Middle East, to get their foot in there and kick the United States out. And it says here, the Arabs defy the U.S. pressure to limit China ties and cut off Russia. Yeah, they're not doing those. They're not afraid of the United States anymore. The United States isn't the big bully on the block wielding a big stick telling everybody what to do. Those nations are realizing now there's other people out there that can buy their oil and gas and resources. They don't need the U.S., and so they don't have to bow down to the U.S. And that's what they're learning. And that's going to be painful for the United States. So as we go on here, it says on Friday that China would work to buy oil and gas in yuan, a move that would support Beijing's goal to establish its currency internationally and weaken the U.S. dollar's grip on world trade. Yeah, that's exactly what, and that's also what the entire BRICS countries want, or BRICS Plus they're calling it now. So you have Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. The plus is all the other countries looking to join, which would be Saudi Arabia, Turkey perhaps, Egypt, Argentina, Iran. There's a whole bunch of other ones that want to get in on this because they see the fall of the United States and they want to join on to the winning side, basically. So moving on here, we got a couple other highlights that we can go through here. It says deepening economic ties were touted during Xi's visit, where he was greeted with pomp and ceremony, kind of like I said. And he called it a historic new phase of relations with China. Like I said, the better the relations between China and the Middle East are, the worse it is for us over here, and the worse it is for the European Union as well. It says, though Saudi Arabia and China signed several strategic and economic partnership deals, so either getting closer, getting more in bed with each other, analysts said the relations would remain anchored mostly in energy interests. That's true, but you're going to see here in a minute that they are the tech sector is starting to get, the Chinese tech knowledge is going to start getting into Saudi Arabia here, and they're going to get closer on those ties as well. It says here that Saudi Arabia agreed on a memorandum of understanding that Huawei, I think it's pronounced, it's their tech firm, giant cell phone company basically. It says this week on a cloud computing and building high-tech complexes in Saudi Arabia, in their cities. So don't need Silicon Valley anymore. We got, the Chinese Silicon Valley, basically. So whether it be for 5G or, like I said, cloud computing, they're basically saying, you don't need the United States. We can provide you with all this. And this goes on to say, Xi said Beijing would continue to import large quantities of oil from Gulf Arab countries and expand imports of liquefied natural gas, adding that their countries were natural partners and would cooperate further in upstream oil and gas development. So they're going to do Chinese development there. You start putting your assets on the ground, they're going to start moving soldiers on the ground to protect them. They're going to become basically they're going to give them military protection. They won't need the United States to do it. Once again, they won't need the petrodollar. It says here also, China would also, quote, make full use of the Shanghai Petroleum and Natural Gas Exchange as a platform to carry out the yuan settlements for oil and gas. So yeah, they want, as soon as they get Saudi Arabia to really be taking all the yuan instead of the petrodollar, that's when it's really going to happen for us. It's really going to get bad. And they're coaxing them. It's going to happen. You're not stopping it. It will happen. It says, most of Saudi Arabia's assets and reserves are in dollars, including more than $120 billion in treasuries, that Riyadh holds, and also their money, the rial, it's called the Saudi rial, is pegged to the U.S. dollar as well. Well, if and when they join BRICS, and go with that reserve currency that's going to get established, they're going to peg their money to that. Then they won't need the dollar again, and that 120 billion in U.S. Treasuries, they're just going to start unloading it. That's what China's been doing. They've been unloading all their U.S. Treasuries to get rid of them, and that's basically what Saudi Arabia is going to do. They're just going to unload their treasuries. So let's go back here. This is just another step in the destruction of the dollar, and why that's important to you is, as the dollar gets destroyed and it's no longer the reserve currency, all the money out there, all the dollars out there that other countries had to use to buy oil, they come home and causes inflation here, hyperinflation, food prices to go up, food scarcity, all that will happen. Interest rates, housing prices, all that's going to be impacted by the petrodollar dying, because the United States can't offload their printed money. They can't run the printer machine like crazy, get those dollars out of here into the world where they can be distributed to keep the inflation low. They will all be here in the United States, causing inflation, going into hyperinflation. So by knowing this, you can prepare yourself, knowing that it's coming, it's getting closer to 2023. Might be the year that reserve currency comes out, and they just cut off the petrodollar. But you're going to be ready for it, because you have your dollars out of the bank. You have you put them into other hard assets. You bought stuff that is worth more than money as it goes up. Would that be food, clothing, machinery, tools, repair parts, precious metals, whatever you moved in, that's what you've been doing. So you're going to be ready for this. So share this video with other people. Like, subscribe if you haven't done so. People that don't know this is coming, keeping their money in the bank, haven't done anything, help them out. See if you can get them on board. See if you can get it going in the right direction. And until next time, keep your ear to the ground, head on a swivel.